I think that the Chinese have created a pretty impressive system. It is authoritarian. It's quasi-market based, and they are very successful at marshaling new technology. They're capable of innovating a lot of things we thought they weren't able to do. And conversely, democracy, especially American democracy, looks like it's falling apart. If I
Mm.
were somebody trying to move from a poor, misgoverned country somewhere else, I would have chosen the United States without question for most of the last several decades. But these days, I'm not sure that it's such an attractive model for many people. And I would say if the Chinese keep their uh, development machine going, it may turn out that they have a real alternative. I think, however, that it's a little premature to come to that conclusion because there are a lot of problems in China.
A lot of people keep saying it's too early to tell. Honestly, I don't think much of experts like these now. Things have been developing for ages, yet they still stick to that words. Do we really have to wait for a total defeat to form a judgment? Experts ought to do thorough research and forecast trends ahead of time. Why fail to spot sound systems when progress is clearly being made? If they can only figure things out when all is too late, why should we take their advice?
I've just come back from China, and that is one thing you do get walking around. Whatever you think about the system, I'm not really sort of into this politics where it says China brilliant, America terrible.
Which is better, communism or capitalism? They are still going back and forth on this. Honestly, I think they're looking at this the wrong way entirely. China's communism isn't the same as the Soviet Union's, and modern capitalism is nothing like what it was when it first started. Everything in the world is always evolving. No system is perfect and never needs fixing. Instead of arguing about which system is the best, I care more about whether this system still has the ability to evolve. I cut the rest of their conversation out because they just kept arguing about the same thing.
And there was a story in the Financial Times this week, though, that planted some seeds of doubt. So apparently China's spy agency has begun warning Chinese young people against dropping out of the career rat race. So the context here is the trend in China to lie flat. So this is the idea that for young people, the Chinese education and jobs market is just too competitive. And that has meant that some people are just deciding, I don't want to do this anymore, right? They're opting out. They're going to live with their parents. Seems reasonable, rational to me. When I was walking around Chengdu, it felt like Berlin or Madrid, and you could feel like there were quite a lot of people lying flat. In Beijing and Shanghai, less so. Let's go back to that Financial Times article. They say the Ministry of State Security, the country's spy agency, this week said foreign forces were seeking to erode the minds of Chinese youths by disseminating anti-work propaganda online, encouraging them to drop out or, in Chinese internet parlance, lie flat. And they say they want only for our youth to lie flat, handing over our development dividends, strategic opportunities, and the future of our nation. So that is what the Ministry of State Security has been saying in a WeChat promotional video. And also from that WeChat video, the ministry says, may every young person uphold their original aspirations, stand firm on their principles, remain undisturbed by noise and unclouded by confusion, and thrive in the prime of their lives. As I say, I'm still boosterish about China. What they're doing is very impressive. I'm sure their development is going to continue. And, whether or not it accelerates, I don't know. But, I think the 21st century is theirs, essentially. But it's a very competitive society. Young people are expected to work very long hours. I really don't think you need a foreign power to encourage some of them to drop out and chill. I'm glad some of them are dropping out and chilling.
A lot of people probably don't feel this foreign forces thing the Chinese government talks about. But the truth is, it's real, and it's still very active on China's internet. Take Taiwan's 1,450 cyber troops, for example. They mainly attack the mainland's democratic policies and political system. Then there are Japan-funded anti-China groups, which basically try to deny the Nazi-like war crimes Japan committed during its invasion of China. One reason Chinese netizens like Trump is that he drastically cut NGO funding, which cleaned up China's internet a lot. This topic is really interesting. If you're interested, I want to make a whole video on it. I recently found these cyber troops have an unexpected effect. Now, about young people lying flat, there's definitely a reason rooted in China's own development model. Intense competition is a hallmark of the Chinese model. Low-cost education leads to cheap healthcare, low-cost legal services, low prices for goods, and low wages. Personally, I'm optimistic that the lying flat trend will stay manageable. What weird things are happening now? A couple. This year the guy works while the girl stays in the rental place on her phone playing games. Next year they switch and she goes to work. A single guy works one day, then games for 2, and that's enough to get by. If not care about quality of life, they can all do this one day on, one day off work schedule.